Hi, I'm Elise.
And I'm Alex.
We don't know anything.
We just live here.
And because we live here, you get this podcast.
Exactly.
It's interesting though, because the reason we're even doing this podcast is because we met in the first place and our relationship has come to this point.
Exactly.
Which, if you think about how our relationship started, like who would have even known?
Oh, I wouldn't have thought. Like,
Right.
in 1,000 years.
I know.
Because it was
So-
such a chance meeting.
Such a chance meeting. Everything fell into place. And then,
And then it just clicked. Like, I feel like sometimes you meet someone and it clicks.
yes.
And that's like what happened.
Or like your relationship starts and then it blooms into something you never even expected.
Yeah.
That's our
exactly.
relationship. It's
Exactly.
like a flower.
Yes.
Is that weird?
No.
Okay. Okay, but in all seriousness, it was like, what, 2 years ago?
Yes.
Okay, so 2 years ago, my husband and I were like, let's move. So we thought, Payson, why not?
Yeah.
So then we reached out to this job where I felt like it was perfect for me. But when I reached out, they said, oh my gosh, we just hired a hygienist after we've had this ad out for 5 years.
And it was me.
Yeah, it was Alex. And thank goodness it was, because Alex would not have done what I am about to agree
No,
to.
I would never have done that. Like, I would have taken that and been like, okay, like it wasn't meant for us. Like,
Right.
we'll stay in the valley.
But the office manager was like, I just hired someone. It's been 5 years. We've been looking. But I have a hygienist who's going on maternity leave. And would you be willing to commute up to Payson 1 day a week from Phoenix? And at the time, my drive was 2 hours there and 2 hours back.
Yeah.
Just to fill my maternity leave.
And they found the one person crazy enough.
To do it. My husband and I were like, why not? We'll put my feet in the Payson waters and see how it goes. You know, maybe this leads to a job. We don't know. Well, I did it.
Yes.
And the first day I'm there, I'm like the odd new girl who's not really a new girl, who's totally not permanent, right?
Right. And I'm
And-
still like maybe 2 months new. Like, I'm not super settled in.
It was only 2 months.
Well, I started like August something.
Oh, wow. So yeah.
And
I
you
didn't-
came in
I don't think I
October.
realized it was so new.
Yeah, it was that new.
Oh my goodness. So, and then at the time, Alex lived like a good 50-minute drive away.
Yeah.
So she stayed for lunch. I didn't know. I stayed for lunch because where the heck am I going to go?
Right. Like, she can't drive home.
So I'm sitting in this awkward break room that I don't even want to call a break room, right?
No, it was like literally the second doctor's office at that point.
There were just chairs along the side of the wall. We used a bookshelf as a table.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So I'm sitting there reading my book, minding my own business by myself because everyone leaves, apparently. And then Alex walks in her workout clothes and she was like, oh my gosh, you stay for lunch? She's
Because
like,
no one stays. Like, and I was the only one ever staying because I lived so far. Like, there was no just like, oh, I'm going to pop over like to my house for lunch. Like,
right. There was
Yeah.
nothing for you to do. So you went on a walk behind the office and you did the things.
mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, but I was like, it's okay. I'm just reading my book, and bam.
Fast friends. I was like, what are you
Conversation.
reading? I don't even know. Like,
I don't know what
we
book I was
still were
reading.
like, we're trying to figure it out.
I'm pretty sure it was Bad Omen.
Okay.
No. Only Bad Options.
Okay. Probably.
Jennifer Estep.
But then I feel like I was like, well, I'm reading Throne of Glass.
And she said, have you read it? And I said,
Have I read it?
Have I? Yes.
And then boom.
Boom. Friends.
Then we had like a little mini book club going once a week because Elise only came once a week.
Yes. We read books together. We just chatted books. People would come in and be like, oh, you're having a book club?
Yeah, like that was our thing. Like
Yes.
people would be like, oh, walked in on book club.
Yeah. But so it was made pretty clear
Yeah.
that I was not going to be given a permanent job. Like the girl who went on maternity leave was coming back.
Yeah, 1,000%. Like I had like a little bit of doubt. I feel like I kind of shared it with you too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't have a reason for that. Like was just kind of like, she had mentioned in the past, like, like maybe I will stay home, but also like I am going to come back. And then that was it. Like,
Right. But then there were other people at the office who made it very clear I was not welcome
no,
to
like
stay.
this is not permanent. Like,
Yeah, why are you even saying so? Because I would be like, hey, one day maybe I'll live in Payson. Like, I would make
yeah,
comments like that.
normal things.
And they would like come and make sure I knew not at this office
right.
type thing.
Which I feel like we forgot to mention. We're dental hygienists.
Oh, yeah.
So we clean teeth all day. And that's why Elise was there, covering a maternity leave for another
dental
hygienist. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, my. So it was pretty clear. So I thought, and and by the time my time there was coming to an end, I'm thinking, we're not going to, I'm not going to work here. We're just going to stay in Phoenix. It's fine. But then they offered me the job because she wasn't coming back.
But they waited until like probably the last,
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And it was too last minute.
It was too last minute.
But we also didn't know as an office until that time.
She came in and said 2 weeks before my maternity leave, like her maternity leave was up. I was like, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
And then they offered me the job and I was like, shoot, like it was
I
already
have nothing in place.
Yeah. I can't take my kids out of school. I would have taken my kids out of school halfway through the year if I would have known. If we had a place to stay,
Yeah.
I could have already done, but I can't do it in 2 weeks.
And I was so bummed. Like, Elise is my first friend, like, here, really.
Yeah.
And we just clicked. And it was such a bummer because I was like, God, like, I want her to work here so bad.
I wanted to work there so bad. So fast forward, didn't work out. I went back to Phoenix, my husband and I were just like, okay, this is where we need to be.
Yeah.
A year later, was it a year?
Just about.
A year later, like crazy stuff happens and everything falls into place that we can move up here and I can still work at this office.
No, because I would text Elise like every like couple months, like, hey, can you move?
Oh, and that's the thing. Like, she initiated texting me.
Because I am not like that. Like, with a random person, like, even though Elise wasn't random at that point, like, we weren't necessarily like,
but we saw each other 12 times.
Yes. Like, not very often.
No.
And once a week. And all we really talked about was books. So then Elise leaves, but we still had like unfinished book business, I feel.
Yes, we did.
So like occasionally we would text about that. But like on a couple occasions, like I reached out first about either like working or book related stuff. Like, how's it going? And that's not my personality, but I feel like that's how I knew like Elise and I could be friends because I was like willing to do it.
And that's what I was telling her a while ago. I was telling my husband, David, that's the moment I told David, I said, I think Alex and I are friends. Like, she texted me.
Yeah.
We're having conversations and we haven't seen each other in months. Like,
right.
We care enough to reach out.
Exactly.
I feel like that's for us was like, okay, this friendship is real.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
We didn't know where it was going at that point.
No, I didn't know if I would ever see her again.
No.
Like, I wanted to. And like, I don't go to the Valley often, but like, had I
and I didn't
gone, like, maybe I'd reach out. But like, I also have a bunch of family there. Like, you never know.
Like, life is busy and you just never know if you'll see someone for sure.
For sure.
So, but we knew we were friends and now we're here. All because everything fell into place and we started being able to have book clubs.
Every single Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yes, 2 days a week, every week.
I know, that was crazy. When Elise was like, no, I'm moving, I was like, oh my God.
It's
finally
happening.
This is the best.
But it's interesting to think about because like for me, I felt like everything was chances. Like it was like, okay, random, wanting to move, reach out, maternity leave. I took it like a weirdo. You taken the 5 year, they've been looking for hygienists for 5 years. And then we're like, okay, it's not going to work out. And then bam, it works out.
I know. No, it was like we were like meant to be friends. Like, I just know it. I even told my mom, like, we have a lot of like big differences, which I feel like you'll notice over time. Just like growing up, like she has kids, I don't. Like, we're at different stages of life.
Yeah, totally.
But we also have like a lot in common in other ways. And that like brings us together.
Yes, but also I think our differences don't repel us. I think we're both very accepting and understanding. Oh, not understanding. There's nothing to be understanding. It's like we're so just open to each other.
Oh, for sure.
Like we accept each other's differences, and it makes our relationship even more dynamic.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so that's how this started. That boiled down to us one day being like, podcast?
Let's do it.
I don't know. 2 months later, we're doing it.
We're doing it. Yeah, exactly.
So that's us. Hello. Welcome.
Welcome.
So speaking of relationships, do you find that you have any other relationships where, I don't know, maybe it's a relationship you never thought would ever happen, like with a certain person? I actually have one of those now that I say that out loud, with a certain person, or like a meeting and then it grew into something else, or even a relationship where you're like, it was really important to me in that time of my life, but now like it still is important because I had that moment, but we don't talk.
I feel like chance meeting or like similar to us, no, I don't. Like all of my friends I've met like very traditionally. Like we met in high school, like two of my best friends, like they're high school friends. And then I have a friend that I met as like a kid, and we don't talk all the time, but like I know she's always there.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Like one of those relationships where you're like, we don't talk all the time, but if I needed something, I could say, hey, and she'd be there.
Right. And if I saw her tomorrow, like we would pick up where we left off.
It would feel totally normal. Yeah. I love that.
That's special. And then I had like hygiene school friends.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like those are ones that like I still kind of keep in touch with. Like I root them on, but I wouldn't say like we're like always chatting or like keeping up with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like I have my set group of friends that I'm like, that I know, but I don't have anyone that I've met like chance meeting, like, oh, we were meant to be friends.
That was weird.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. But I feel like you have a good one.
I have a couple actually, now that I think about it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing about me. I feel like I think I'm the problem. It's me. I love people and I want to reach out. Like I want to be their friend, and I feel like they can't get away from me, and maybe that makes me a psycho.
I think that's like where we're opposite.
Yeah.
Like you're totally the aggressor.
I am.
But like
in the nicest way.
No, yeah. Like you want to be their friend. And I think that's like how I knew I would be your friend, because I took the chance.
You did.
But like so for you, that's like normal.
A normal thing. Yes. Okay, so this was years ago. I'm not very good at social media. I'm not good at Facebook. I'm not good at any. You shake your head.
My grandma has better social media skills than you, Elise.
I am so bad at it. I have to ask my husband. He gets so annoyed. He's like, girl.
He's like, come on.
Stop.
You're not in your 60s.
Yeah. But seriously, 60-year-olds are better than me. But so this one day I was randomly on Facebook. I love to read. It's a big part of our lives. And I saw this romance online book club on Facebook group. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to join. So I joined, but you have to answer questions to get in.
Uh-oh.
Have you had to do that?
Yeah, I have.
They're intimidating. It's like, what kind of romance do you like? Are you going to be judgmental of others? I'm like, yes, oh my gosh. I was like, maybe. No.
Depends on what you read.
But then like 2 days later, I realized I got in, because obviously I probably got in the same day, but I didn't know.
I was going to say, I was like, they probably confirmed you.
But this is the thing. I realized I got in 2 days later, and on that day they had just posted, we are having a book exchange between members. Sign up if you want to do a book exchange.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I did. Put my name in. A month later, this girl Facebook messages me, and she's like, hey, like, I'm your book exchange girl person. What kind of books do you like?
Strictly business.
Yeah, she went straight to it. What kind of books do you like? And what's your address? I'll send it to you. And I'm like, oh, well, nice to meet you. So-and-so, because her name is on the thing. How are you? Where are you from? Oh, I love these books and this and this. And blah, 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 here's my address. And then I'm like, what's your address? And then I'm like, okay, we're kind of creepy, but
Elise is like, you're my new pen pal.
I was like, we will be friends. She does not know this yet, but we will be friends. And I think I slowly broke her down with all my questions, and just like, we had so many similarities, except she lived in Virginia, I live in Arizona, but we like were married the same year. We have 3 kids. They were all around the same age. Our birthdays were born the same year. Like, it's so crazy, like so many things. So we proceeded to have a friendship over Facebook Messenger for probably 2 years.
That's crazy.
And then we finally exchanged phone numbers, had a text messaging relationship as well as a Facebook.
Step.
Yes. And then the year I was doing the commute for Payson to when I met you is when we finally Marco Polo'd for the first time.
Okay.
I know. I can Marco Polo, but I can't do.
I know. I'm always like, she's like, yeah, I've been Marco Poloing. I'm like, I didn't even know what that was till I met Elise.
Which is so crazy because I don't know anything.
Yeah.
And Alex is like so on all
She has
the
a
stuff.
BeReal and she has a Marco Polo.
I do. Here is the thing. Marco Polo and BeReal are so easy. You click a button to stop it. It sends on its own. We're good.
Okay.
I do not have to do anything extra.
Yeah. I get it.
There's no like trying to figure out posts or anything like that. Anyways, so we Marco Polo for the first time, and she is awesome. Keep in mind, I'm not a social media, so I never stalked her. I don't know what she looked like. So I get to see her face for the first time, and her voice, she's got a Southern accent.
That's awesome.
Like, anyways, we set up to go to a book con, everything. I just feel like this relationship started with some random. Also, it had to be, like, I feel like it was meant to be because why was I on Facebook? And then why exactly. 2 days later?
Why was she joining a group
why
of all
was
people?
Seriously, though.
And being active in that group, joining a book exchange.
Okay, so the best part of this relationship, though, like, I think it was 3 years in, she says, Elise, I'm getting a tattoo. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. She sends me a picture. She got her tattoo. It's a stack of books. It's super cute. And on the spines of these books, it has like people's name that are in her life. I think maybe important people. I'm not sure. And it's like her mom, her husband, her 3 kids, her, and then, or maybe her 3 kids, and then Elise is at the bottom. And I was like, oh my gosh, do you know another Elise? She's like, that's you. And I was like,
oh my God.
Oh my gosh, we're friends.
Ultimate.
She put my name on her body.
It was like the ultimate thing.
Will you put my name on your body?
I won't even put Zach's. So love you, but
I won't be offended. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I just never would have expected that. I think and to this day, we still talk all the time. And we met up at a book con for the first time we met in person. And it was so crazy, Alex. It was like, her and her husband picked me up from the airport, and I was a little nervous because I'm like, I don't, but we just like ran to each other, hugged each other. It was like we'd been friends forever. Like, yeah. Like it just felt so natural. I can't even explain it.
And that's cool though, because you had like a predominantly text-based, like social media-based friendship. And then to meet each other, you never know like how that's going to go. Like, right. Is it going to be a little awkward because like this is the first time we've met? Or is this going to be like fast friends type thing?
It was like natural friends. Like we had been friends for life. Like it was just one of those things that you talked about. We were like, I know that, like, I don't talk to that friend, but I know that she's always my friend.
Yeah.
It's like I had been talking to her. We'd never met, but she had been my friend forever.
That's so cool.
It was the coolest thing.
I love that. Okay, so do you think that's like your craziest chance meeting?
Honestly, yes.
Okay.
I do think it's the craziest chance meeting I've ever had, but I just remembered like one of my favorite like starts to a friendship. Oh my goodness, I just remembered this. And this friend knows about this.
Okay.
I was 16 years old. We were in church and I was with my friend Jen, who's still my friend today, and Spencer, and this new girl walks into Sunday school, okay? Mm-hmm. And she sits between Spencer and Jen, and she goes, oh my gosh, I'm watch trapped. And all three of us were like, what?
Yeah, you're like, huh?
The heck? Yeah, like, what? And I think one of us, I don't even know who it was, we're like, what do you mean? And she's like, Spencer has the watch, Jen has the watch, and I don't have a watch.
You're like, okay.
I'm like, this girl, okay. Like, remember, we're 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
how did you think of that? That's like quick on your feet.
Yeah. Like, what? But she's just so happy. And then later in that lesson, the teacher was talking about this hero and the scriptures and like what he did. And she legit in the middle claps. Like, yay! Yay! We love him! And I just remember like... looking at her and being like, I will never be this girl's friend. Like, I cannot be this girl's friend. Okay, but like, it goes on. We become best friends.
That is like, so funny.
The best friends. In high school, we went to proms together. We, even when I went to college, before I went to NAU, that summer before, we did summer classes together. We did summer classes together after I went to NAU. She would come up to see me in Flagstaff. Like, we were the best of friends.
That is awesome, though.
And it all started by me being like, no. But her joy, her light, like it just, like it comes out in weird ways sometimes, but it's intoxicating.
That's cool though. That's like
you can't
a funny
help but
story.
Be her friend.
Like you'll remember that forever.
Yes. But I also remember this one time, it was the summer after my freshman year of college. So I was home and we were doing a summer class together and I'm driving down the street and there was like a red, white, and blue car in a row. And I was like, oh my gosh, red, white, and blue, like the flag. I had this thought in my head and then I called Cassie and I was like, I cannot hang out with you anymore. Like you're rubbing off on me. It's so weird. She's like, so see you tonight. And I was like, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be there.
But it was so funny. And yes, still, but she's also a friend like I don't talk to now all the time.
Yeah.
But if she needed anything, I'd be there. If I needed anything, she'd be there. And yeah, we just like know we're friends forever.
Yeah, that's special.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's always a place for a friendship like that. Like it's
for
like
sure.
A comfort that you know you have, but you don't like need to like shout it to the rooftops every day.
Oh, for sure. I love that.
Yeah.
But okay, in the same vein, are you friends with someone you thought you'd never be friends with?
I guess I could say that about my friend. Like, okay, like one of my really good friends. It's not that I never thought I'd be her friend, but like we're friends technically because we knew each other from high school. Mm-hmm. But like we were never friends in high school.
Interesting.
Actually, both of my really good friends, like my best friends, like none of us were friends in high school.
Oh.
And we like all started hanging out maybe like a year or two after. And now they're like my best friends.
You guys just like got together as like a high school.
Well, it kind of came about because of Zach.
Okay.
So like Zach was friends with both of their husbands or like their husbands now, but boyfriends back then. And we would get together and hang out and it wasn't weird. I don't know. It's not even like we were enemies or anything. Like we just weren't on like each other's radar.
So interesting. So it's like it wasn't the time in high school.
No.
But now you're the best of friends. Like I do feel like friendship, there's a season for certain friendships.
Oh, for sure.
Things happen for a reason.
Yeah, I agree.
That is cool.
Yeah, I think, and I think they would say the same. Like we have like we're really lucky to have each other. But like, I don't think any of us would have ever guessed that like we would be friends when we were young.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys just were in different things and...
Yeah, like Caitlin, she was in cheer.
Oh, wow.
And she had like her group of friends from that. And like I hung out with a specific group of girls like that wasn't in cheer, I guess. Like, I don't know. They weren't like anything specific. Like they were just friends.
Just didn't
and then like
mesh.
Amber, she did track. And soccer, maybe not track. I could be totally butchering that. I know she did soccer.
But you were friends in high school, so that's
but we weren't. So like, none of us were.
Right.
But
like even Caitlin and Amber were not friends?
No.
Oh my gosh.
So like we were all like separately with other groups of people in high school, and now like we're good friends.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I like that though. So you have something similar. You have like the high school.
Yeah, and I feel like we say like when people ask like, "Oh yeah, like we know each other from high school," but like that is how we know each other, but like we weren't best friends.
Right.
But I think that's kind of nice because like I don't think there's anything wrong with like staying friends with people from high school. Like I think there's always going to be a place for that. Like you shared like a crazy time of life, like, and like a terrible time. But there's something to be said about like growing up with people in a different way, like more into adulthood.
Yeah.
Like I've seen them have their kids or get married and like buy their first homes and like do different things than we did back then.
Right. But I would say even with my friend Cassie, I still did those things with her.
Well, like you guys went to college together, right?
No. She stayed in Phoenix and I went to Flagstaff.
Okay.
But our other friend, the friend Jen who watch trapped her.
Yeah.
So Jen and I actually have a funny story too.
Okay.
We were like 14. Oh my goodness. We're 14 and we're in church again, but we like knew each other. It's kind of the same thing. We knew each other from church or from school, but we never hung out and we didn't even really like, I don't know, mingle. I don't know. We had activities and stuff, but this one day we're sitting next to each other in this hour in church and for all the girls, and we're laughing and we're coming up with these crazy scenarios back and forth. It's like we were both weird with each other and we're like, oh yeah, we're going to take like, we should take these like partners in crime pictures and do this and that and that. And she likes to take pictures and all these things. And just so happened the next day we didn't have school because it was a holiday, one of those Monday holidays. And we had talked about it. We kind of planned it like, oh, you should come over tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. But then Monday comes around and we didn't set up a time. I didn't call. I was like, I'm not going to call her if we're going to do this, whatever. She calls me. She's like, do you want to do this? I'm like, okay. So literally the first time we hang out, I'm dressed up in weird things and we're taking weird like partner in crime pictures. Actually, I think I can pop one up on here. Like I have one.
That is so funny and it does not surprise me.
It is insane. And she edited them and then we became, ever since that one day, like no joke, the next day at school, we ate lunch together. We had no classes together. We ate lunch together. We started sharing a locker. We would leave notes to each other in the locker. We became best friends from that one moment, that one strange moment of taking strange pictures together.
That's so weird.
It's amazing. And to this day, we still take weird pictures together.
I bet
Cassie's
you do.
in on that too. We always take a pyramid picture together. We have, I think, oh my goodness, like 4 or 5 different years of pyramid pictures.
We can pop that up too.
We'll see if I can find all the years. I'll ask Jen. But yeah, it's just, I mean, still another one. That was one of my childhood friends. But, oh my goodness, but here's the thing. Before Jen, I never settled down with friendships. She was like, it was like sophomore year of high school, and then she was my best friend all through high school, and then we're still really good friends. I'm still in contact with her a lot. And but before that, my friends changed every year.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't in your class, we weren't like besties, you know, we weren't hanging out all the time. And then even in high school, freshman year, it was like first semester I had certain friends, the next semester I had different friends. Okay. And they were still my friends, but they weren't the ones I was hanging out with anymore.
Right.
And oh my goodness, I could just, like, someone hurt my feelings. I'd be like, okay, like, we're friends, but I'm not going to hang out with you. And then I would dwindle away and find someone new.
That kind of surprises me because you're, like, very... Now I feel like you would address it and still be their friend.
Okay, so listen, I am confrontational and I do think relationships and friendships mean a lot to me now, but it took, I would say, a lot of work and a lot of self-reflection.
Yeah.
In college, I have a friendship where I am so grateful for it. She got me through, like, we were such good friends for like a year and a half, and then I think I bungled the relationship.
Okay.
And now we are not friends. But I needed her at that time. And like, it's not that we're not friends. It's just we don't talk. It was not a good like ending, I would say. It's kind of sad. And it makes me sad to think about.
Yeah.
But I've learned from that. Like now I do confront. I'm honest. Like little white lies are not worth it.
No.
In any relationship.
Not at all.
Even a simple friendship, it's like not worth it.
No, I agree.
So that's why I'm confrontational. That's why I'm like brutally honest in a nice way. But yeah, because of her and I relationship in college. That one right there, I will always remember it. And I needed it. It was a great learning lesson, but also she was super special to me for a while.
That's good though. I feel like you have to have those.
I mean, she's still special to me because I will never forget her.
For sure.
But I feel so sad. I'm like, I was the worst.
Yeah, I feel like we all have a moment like that.
Yeah.
Like where you've just been like not a great friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No, I've been there. Mine was more high school. And like, I think like she had moved away and we were still trying to like get together. But I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I just think like it ended badly because I would not confront it.
Okay.
Instead of being honest and being like, oh, like, I don't think that's going to work for me. Like, I did like make a little white lie.
Yes.
And then I just avoided
her. And
just like avoided the whole situation.
Oh my goodness.
And now like, obviously we don't talk.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, if I was her, I probably wouldn't like me.
That's what I think sometimes.
But like I had like a lot of respect for her as a friend for so long, and then like we kind of just grew apart.
Yeah.
And then it blew up into something that like it probably didn't need to if I had just been straightforward. Right. But you know, I'm like not like that.
No.
And I never want to like hurt someone's feelings, but I think I did that anyways. So I still just feel like
either way you were gonna hurt feelings.
Kind of terrible, but like I should have maybe just done it the proper way instead of being like a brat about it.
Okay, but because of this relationship, you learned something. Like, do you think now you'd be like, okay?
No, I think I would be honest. I still am like not confrontational, and if I don't feel like I need to, like I won't say something. And I almost feel like a lot of times like it comes out more like organically, like hey, like But also, like, I don't have a lot of friends where I'm having that situation often. Well, like, they all know my boundaries, I feel, and I know theirs.
Same.
So.
Same. I don't have to be confrontational with my friends almost ever.
Yeah.
Because I think it's, like I already discussed with us, like, even though we got differences, even though, you know, we still accept and respect each other's boundaries.
Oh, for sure.
So.
Which I think that's a part of being like an adult.
Yes. But back in the day, I did need to learn how to confront or confront with my feelings. Like, hey, this made me feel this way. And not tell those white lies. And now I am definitely better at relationships and friendships.
Yeah.
Because of, I would say she's a huge part. There are a lot of different things, but I know we'll probably be talking about that in a different episode.
For sure.
But, yeah. I just think, okay, so relationships, friendships, they definitely mold us.
Oh, for sure.
We learn, we grow.
Yes.
We can fall back on relationships. And because of that.
That's how this is.
Yeah.
This is coming to be.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
It's crazy. Like how just one small chance meeting like can create something so big and so crazy.
Right. But also, I don't think you would be friends with me in college.
No.
Well, I'm pretty hard not to be friends with.
Yeah, that's true. She would have like tackled me to the ground and been like, "You're being my friend."
Well, I'm just thinking like, if we were in college together, we would be in dental hygiene school together.
Yeah, and I was not my best self.
You were?
No, I take that back. Like, I don't think I was bad, but I was competitive and, like, I wanted to be the best.
Oh.
And I wasn't necessarily, like, the best, like, always in grades, but, like, I had perfect attendance until, like, nearly the end. And I only lost it because we went on a mission trip and they would not count our attendance for that.
Oh, my goodness.
So I was, like, pissed.
That's ridiculous.
But like I wanted to be like class president, and so I was our class president. I wanted perfect attendance. I did the volunteer thing.
Wow.
Like I wanted to like be the best, but like I wouldn't even say like there were way better girls than me.
But you worked hard and you got what you wanted. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And we still probably, that's the thing, like in dental hygiene school, I was friends with all of those girls. Like
that's good.
Maybe not the best of friends. Like there are some that I definitely talk to more.
Yeah.
But I could talk to all of them.
That's good.
I do think there's something about dental hygiene school. You're all going through the same hard things.
Yeah.
And no, I love all those girls still to this day.
Now, like there's room for everybody to be successful.
Yeah.
But in the moment, I feel like at our school, like it felt competitive. Like,
okay.
Like we had like our groups, but like we were all kind of like, I would say like if you were in a different group, it felt like maybe we weren't friends. Like we were competitive. I look back at it now and it seems like super silly, but like that's just how it was. Like there was probably 2 or 3 groups of people in our class out of 17.
Oh wow.
Or yeah, I think 17. I could be so off, but I feel like we all were so like in our zone. Like maybe some of us weren't going to graduate if someone else did better than us, but that's not the case.
No.
That's how we act.
That is so interesting.
I'm like, we can all get a license at the end now, but back then I was like, can we?
Yeah, no, like I'm going to get it first.
I know.
No, that is so interesting because I feel, and I wonder if certain girls in my graduating class, we started with 30, ended with 27. I wonder if one of the other 26 would have different opinions than me, but I thought like we all got along pretty well. I know there was some beef here or there.
There always is.
Yes. But like, I thought we were a good team. I thought we worked together. I thought we helped each other out a lot. Like, I don't know, but that's my opinion. And I don't know, maybe it would be interesting to
hear what other people think.
Yes, if they're like, actually, no.
Now, Elise was not it.
It was the worst time of my life.
It was the worst time. Like, I did not, and I would do it again, maybe. But I'm also kind of like, I cried.
No, I cried
every
too.
day. I cried during a quiz once.
Oh.
Like, I remember we sat down in class. My friends are like we're all in like this science lab and we're all sitting in a row. It was my birthday. This is why I remember this. And the teacher still, like, maybe not still, but like for 2 years bragged about this. We get these quizzes back. We're all like they were terrible grades. He's like, okay, so we're going to retake this today. Like right now. And I'm like, gosh. What? He's like passing it out. I'm literally tears.
Oh, no.
Tears coming down my face. This was like microbiology or something like that.
Oh, worst class.
And our teacher was like a genius. So I feel like he knows so much, but he couldn't relay it to us in a way that I could get.
Yeah. So
I'm literally crying, taking this stupid test. And every year after that, he'd be like, and this is a test where I made someone cry on their birthday. That's me.
That's so rude.
Oh, it was so mean. But like,
he thinks it's so funny. You're like, yeah, but that ruined my whole day.
Shout out to Paul because he did get me through.
Paul!
I had to go to tutoring sometimes. But I passed. And Yay. I'm a hygienist. Thank God.
Oh my goodness. You did not have to retake microbiology.
No.
No.
I think I did cry too on the day of the final.
Really?
And he was like, it's gonna be okay, because I was like there like on the cusp, because in hygiene school you can only get like a C, like a 78 or above, and I think I was at like a 79 in that class, and I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna get a good enough grade on this test to pass this class.
Right.
And obviously I did, because it was like,
but I can imagine
elimination. If you fail, you're
feelings.
Out.
Yeah.
Like,
oh really?
Yes, at my school, if you fail a class, like you are done.
Oh, that's scary.
It's not like a retake situation. It's like you've done all of this work and now like you're going to have to reapply.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if there was that or even if a retake situation, but they worked with you hard.
Yeah.
Like if you were not doing well, they were like, nope, you are not failing out of this. Like,
so I think that's why you have to lean on people so heavily in hygiene school.
For sure.
Like not only your family, but like the friends you meet there, because they're the only ones who know what you're going through. And I don't think anybody, like even patients, know like how hard it is to become a hygienist. Anyone who says it's not hard, maybe it wasn't, but like it's stressful.
Oh, for sure.
And it's high stakes and like you want it so badly.
Yes.
It's hard.
But I have to agree with you. I think those relationships we made in hygiene school definitely got me through.
Oh, for sure.
Because you're right. We did have to lean on each other. It was hard. It was really hard. And just all the classes you're taking, plus the labs, plus the rotations, plus all the things. I mean, we're having to practice anesthesia on each other. And picture like a girl who doesn't know what, a girl or a boy who does not know what they're doing, coming at you with a shaky hand at your mouth
and numbing you up.
I mean, if that doesn't engender friendship right there and trust, I don't know what does. Like, okay, Kelly, she was the first one to practice on me.
Mine was
and I'm
broke.
like, oh, poor Kelly. She's coming at me shaky hand. And I'm like, you can't even be scared or mad because you know you're going to be doing it to her next.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I tell patients now, honestly. I'm like, imagine this for 12 weeks. Every Friday, I was injecting someone and they were injecting me back and we did not know what we were doing.
No, not at all.
So you cannot be scared. I was like, I've had every shot you're going to get like 30 times from an inexperienced clinician.
A noob. Like, oh,
from someone who I was trusting simply because they were my friend.
Yes. Friendship again. Oh my goodness. Yes. I agree. Oh, now I'm reliving.
I know. We can't dive into that because we can do that in another episode.
We could talk about that all day probably.
But at the end of the day, I feel like friendship's the basis of our podcast.
Yes.
And that's why I wanted to start with something like this to kind of
so you know where we started, how we came together.
And kind of where we go from here is anywhere because we just live here.
Yeah, we just live here. And this is why we were doing this in the first place. We became friends and we had these conversations during lunch at work. And we could our conversation started out all about books, which we will have book episodes about that. Yes. And we're so excited.
And I have one I'm already like, looking forward to so much.
Me too. I've been really thinking about my answer.
Okay, good.
But it started out with books and then it gradually, our conversations grew into more and more and more. And now we can talk about anything. I mean, I sleep over at her house.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like.
She does my dishes sometimes.
I do. I told her to stop telling people that because I don't want everyone to think I'll just do your dishes for free.
If you need your dishes done, this is your girl.
Okay. In my defense, 1, I love to help. But 2, we were cleaning your house together.
Yeah, we were.
She was like, oh, my house is dirty. I'm like, let me help.
Yeah. And I was like, okay.
But she did admit she would not do it for me.
I know. I was like, I hate cleaning. I think I would now. Like, I feel like I would help her out.
It's okay though. But I told her it wouldn't hurt my feelings. Like if you're cool sitting there while I'm cleaning and we're talking, I don't care as long as the conversation is good.
That's true. And
it was. Sit there and judge me.
I mean, my vacuum was going, so we couldn't have like straight conversations.
She turned it off and on so many times.
I was like, the battery's gonna die because we're talking.
She's like, what?
Wait, say it again. We're starting this new adventure. We're so happy that you're here.
The conversations. They grew and grew.
Our conversations kept going from like
and
small things to big things.
We just live here.
Why? So does everybody else.
And so does everyone else. So everyone else probably would love these conversations.
And I think they will.
Yeah. I hope you do. Thank you for listening.
And look forward to episode 2 in a week.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.